Following our quick stay in Jakarta, it's time to fly to our next destination, which brings us to Soekarno-Hatta International Airport for our flight to Singapore. Soekarno-Hatta International Airport, Indonesia's premier airport located northwest of the capital city of Jakarta. As of this posting, it is the largest and the busiest airport in Southeast Asia, serving over 70 million passengers a year. Seen here is Terminal 3, the newest among all this airport's terminals, which was opened only in 2016. This structure showcases a massive hall with an architectural design different from the styles of Terminals 1 and 2. In my case of being in Jakarta for the first time, I just had to grab a souvenir mug to add to my collection. For passengers' convenience, a number of shops and restaurants are within reach on one side of the hall, which also provides an astounding view of aircraft movement outside, seen from the huge structure of glass panels, which is also shared by the departure gates that stretch out from one far end to the other. As Jetstar's counters opened, we swiftly made our way to check in for our flight. Fortunately, we were hours early that there weren't any long lines just yet. Agents were polite and friendly, and the process was quick and easy. With a few instructions and reminders, we were eventually given our boarding passes and we were all set to go. With boarding passes issued, our next stop is the immigration. And soon as our passports have been stamped, a short walk takes us all the way to an escalator that led us further down towards the gates. As we descended into the lower level, we were immediately greeted by more shops and cafes that seemed to go endless in this huge stretch of hall. And speaking of shops, it's simply irresistible not to take a look into one of them to check out what fancy stuff they sell. For instance, this particular one offers colorful indigenous items, which is sure to remind you of exotic places you've visited in Indonesia. Merchandise include hand-carved wooden masks, native artwork, even fridge magnets with insects stuffed in resin. Meanwhile, the gate areas offer plenty of seats, and each gate has rows of them that offer a good view of what's happening outside, which means you need not go very far to enjoy marvelous sight of planes parked right in front of you. Further along the gate areas are more cafes, shops, and restaurants, all within proximity to the waiting areas. And in this particular gate are passengers bound for Saudi Arabia. So I took the chance to get a clip of the aircraft they'll be flying, which is just meters away from the window. As I explored further down on one end of the terminal, it seemed more serene, only to find that there's a quiet area for passengers to conveniently sleep, or have their silent time while watching planes go by. Our plane appears in our assigned gate, and it was soon time for boarding. It's my first time to try Jetstar Asia, and knowing it's a low-cost carrier, I'm not expecting some pampering compared to full-service carriers. But the moment I was greeted with all smiles, I knew I'll be comfortable in my flight with them today. Like in many of my flights, I try to be one of the first to board. Now this gives me time to go around and explore the cabin, and make a quick visit at the rear galley. After getting a clip of how the cabin looks like from the rear, I head back to my seat and observe how crew members welcome the rest of the passengers. Boarding took a while, though I didn't mind as I enjoyed the sight of a Garuda Indonesia 737 aircraft outside my window. Next thing I know, the forward door is being closed, and a few moments while watching more and more planes outside, safety demo is eventually initiated in preparation for our flight. We were soon airborne, and fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. As crew members begin preparation and handing out prepaid meals, I simply take the time to check out the contents of the seat pocket in front of me. Now, seats in Jetstar's A320 have this version, where a rack at eye level replaces a common seat pocket, perhaps to give more legroom and comfort. And what I find there is Jetstar's in-flight magazine. Thinking of keeping a copy? You can definitely bring one with you, and it's even printed that it's free to take home. Jetstar's magazine features certain tourist destinations, highlighting hotspots, trivias, and tips on what to see, what to do, and how to get there. Next, I find Jetstar's safety card, all neatly illustrated with direct-to-the-point instructions on what to do in case of an emergency. With its colorful highlights reflecting the airline's orange star, the safety card is pretty hard to miss. And I also find JetShop, the airline's catalog presenting duty-free items for sale on board. But in this case, what I wanted to check are the souvenir items for sale that's exclusive to this airline. And more stuff from my seat pocket, an air sickness bag which I hope I'd never use, another in-flight magazine from Jetstar which showcases tourist attractions in Japan, and my favorite, an in-flight menu in the form of a catalog. It simply presents lots of mouth-watering meals and snacks that's sold on board, all in colorful photos that's enough to convince you to try some. My recommendation? Add a little fun to your flight by trying out some of Jetstar's meals. For a few bucks, you get to enjoy passing the time even while munching on some chips. Pre-ordered meals were soon served, followed by sales of in-flight snacks. As for me, I'm having a pre-ordered premium meal of nasi lemak and chicken satay. That includes 2 sides of potato chips and passion fruit slice cake. Not bad, as I enjoyed all these sumptuous treats while having a good view of the clouds outside my window. After meals, I just had to take a walk and stretch at the back, quietly observing the movement inside the cabin and enjoying the view from where I'm at. But then I had to return to my seat soon, as our aircraft already started to descend. Finally, I'm back in Singapore once again. It's simply an exhilarating sight to see A380s parked next to each other, as well as seeing my country's flag carrier, Philippine Airlines, among one of the aircraft at the terminal. What's also exciting is that we're arriving at a terminal that kinda looks like a big mall as seen from its windows. I'll have my chance later to see what's going on inside there.
Let me do this on the doors.
As passengers disembarked, I just couldn't help converse with crew members. This is the cabin manager Stephanie. So we're giving her our channel. You can just type in "sorry for my handwriting" or Mitch, yeah. And then you type this down on YouTube. You'll see the channel, all the videos, all the reviews, even the lives of cabin crew.
Oh, okay.
Is it really tough to become a cabin crew in Singapore? Really?
Not really.
Not really. Because I heard in other airlines like Singapore or Korean Air, you really have to, you know, be.
But Singapore depends on which airline.
I see.
Yeah.
And how long have you been here in Jetstar already?
For me, in Jetstar, about 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So far you're doing well. I'm impressed with your service. I like the food. Alright, thank you very much. Yeah. Bye. And after a quick chat with the crew, it was time for me and Owen to bid them goodbye. Personally, I enjoyed my flight with them today, no matter how quick our flight seemed. As I told Owen, I think what took a chunk of our time was eating our heavy meals on board. Now once we got inside the terminal, we savored the surroundings Changi Airport has to offer. Among them is the use of a high-speed internet, which we use to access and update our YouTube channels. And after walking around a bit, it was time to proceed to immigration located at the lower level. And we're heading to immigration now. So we need to shut off our camera for a bit. And then once we're out, we'll just turn this back on again. After getting our passport stamped, we were off collecting our luggage and was soon meeting our Singaporean subscriber Leonard, who was eager to bring us on a quick tour of the city. And after handing out our travel cards, we immediately hopped on a train which transported us from Singapore Changi Airport all the way to Geylang, where we all had dinner together. Once done, Leonard shows us around the city, which included famous high-rise buildings and historical landmarks, as well as places popular among tourists. Of course, we can't miss out looking at Marina Bay Sands from the distance. Alright, so we've been given a tour by our Singaporean friend Leonard. Thank you very much for giving us the tour and for the treat. He can speak Tagalog. Where are we, Leonard?
Magandang gabi po sa lahat. We are now at the War Memorial sa Singapore. So you can see it's four
it's
pillars
right there. Yeah.
representing the four major races in Singapore. It's erected as a memorial of after the Japanese conquest and after the war has ended.
Yeah, he could pass for a good tour guide. Anyway, thank you very much for watching my vlog. So we'll see more. See you on the next vlog, and also be sure to watch Owen Alaska's vlog. Do invite them. Owen Travels. Yeah. All right. See you soon.
Don't forget to subscribe.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye. Sige po.
Yeah.